to another episode of ManClub. Today we're going to check out a product by TaoDesign, which is created by Zexen from my 8th gen. He's the guy that brought us the taillight modification, and he's come with another electrical modification. This one is a grounding system kit that links together all the grounding points in your engine compartment. And this is put together to help reduce the resistance in the lines and clean up the electrical system signal. So this should provide us with maybe a cleaner start or smoother idle, perhaps some better throttle response, brighten up your lighting, and clean up your audio sound. So I'm excited to check this product out, and without further ado, let's get going. The tool list for today is pretty light. We used a Dremel with a sanding bit on the end, or you can use sandpaper just to rough up some edges to get a really good contact for the ground. We used a regular ratchet, a torque wrench for the intake manifold bolt only, various amounts of extensions. I got a ratcheting flexible 10mm open end box, and it's really nice because it bends and not, but any 10mm wrench will really work. Flat tip screwdriver to pop a couple of body clips, and I got a deep and a normal 10mm socket. So that's it, pretty much a light tool list for today.
The wiring kit for the V6 comes with 5 wires, and we'll review them from shortest to longest. The first is the battery negative terminal to the body's ground. Second is the manual transmission to body's negative terminal. The third is the body ground all the way to the wiring harness clamp near the driver's side strut and sway bar. The fourth is the intake manifold bolt number 8, which is near the throttle body, to the grounding point for the belt pulleys. And the last is the clamp near the left strut sway bar to the intake manifold bolt 8 near the throttle body.
Alright, just for completeness and ease of installation, and just for demo, I'm going to go ahead and pull this little scoop here out. Now I'm probably going to pull the battery out because not everyone's going to have the Takeda here and have real easy access to all this stuff. So if you have your stock airbox, all this stuff's going to be a little more buried, and it's really not that difficult to pull this stuff out. We'll start with this guy. You just pop this clip out, pull it out, and then you just give him a tug, and it'll pop off of there, and it'll pop off here. Next, we'll take our 10mm battery, disconnect the negative first thing, loosen these up, and we'll pull the battery out. You always start with the negative, pull that off, it's a 10mm, and then take the positive off. And for this guy here, you really don't have to take these nuts off all the way. You just loosen them up so you get some flex in this thing, and then they're just shaped like little J's, so you can once they're loose, you can work them out of their little holes down there and just lift the whole thing out. That way it's a little easier to install. So from here, now we got everything out. It just all lifts out as one nice little package. You get to see the grounding point for the battery. This is 10mm. I think we're going to use 10mm exclusively throughout this job. So go ahead and loosen this up, and we can put in our 3 different points that are going to come off of here. Next, what I've done is I just took a little piece of sandpaper, and I just kind of went at it there. You can get the paint done, and you get down to the primer, and then eventually get down to some bare metal. That'll give us a really, really nice metal-to-metal contact for this ground. So, I mean, it's really optional, but you can do it if you need to. I don't know how much of this you can see, but the grounding wire that goes from the grounding point up to the area up here by the strut tower, I put that one on the bottom, and then I put the stock one in the middle so it could reach the hole, and then the battery ground goes on the top. So I kind of stacked them like that. I mean, you can just play with it and figure out however you want to do it. And then for this one that runs up this way, I wound up popping the clip off and tucking it up underneath, so you really can't see it except for right here. It's nice and clean, so I'll just tuck them away and get them done. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and get this transmission done for the 6.6. It's the one with the red on the top there. You can see, I don't know how much of that you can see, but there's a braided wire that goes out from under it. So that's the ground for the transmission. So we'll pop that off and put our new wire on, joining it and coming up to the battery negative terminal. What I ended up with something like this. Okay, now we got our 2 points here and our point from the transmission. we'll make sure everything's tight, and then we can drop the battery back in. And I think the rest of this is going to be real easy. It's just going to be, going around the engine compartment, hooking up end to end, point to point. Well, you got all this stuff out. You might as well take a rag and some cleaner and wipe it all down. Now that we made it over here towards the strut tower, this one winds up right here, and we're going to use this bracket that holds all the main wiring cables down, and I think this is for the factory air cleaner. We'll hit it here, and then another one will come off here and go over towards the throttle body. Probably going to go ahead and sand this point too, just to get a better contact. I wound up getting out the Dremel for that one. It was a little easier than just doing it by hand. I should have thought about that when I started, but as you can see now, we get nice metal on metal contact here. I wound up doing the same on the bracket as well, as you can see there on that side and that side, just so we're getting good contact all the way through, no paint. Okay, we have that side done here. You can see there's one underneath and one on the top, and then I just snaked it around in front of the master cylinder, I guess, and the clutch fluid back underneath this box here, and you see it comes up right here. Once again, with a 10 mil, we'll come in here and loosen this bolt up right here, and we'll put our grounding here, and there's going to be another one that goes around over to the belt side. You do not want to over torque these. These are spec'd at 8.7, which is really light. So don't crank this down. You don't want to mess with over torquing this guy and causing bigger problems. Okay, so that one leads us to the very last one, which is over here on the belt side for the V6. So if I zoom in here, you can see right here there's a grounding point. So we'll take this guy off and put our ground point here. Now you can either run the wire, Kevin was saying to run it back along the back down there, right above the spark plugs. You can see where the coil packs are. There's a little heat shield. You do not want to be underneath that, because that's where the exhaust is, and you'll burn those wires quick. So that's what we're looking at right there. Okay, as you can see, I went ahead and routed it around the back here. I don't know how much of that you can see, but I basically kept it up a little bit higher, and then I come around this corner, and I wound up tying it in here with the ground, but I wound up zip tying it here to this bracket, and I zip tied it over here to these other wires just to keep it off the hot parts. Try to keep that wire as cool as possible. And then all we got to do is tighten this guy up, then reconnect everything, and I think we're done. Well, here's a closer look at what I wound up doing over here. I didn't wind up using the nut provided. I just put it through as it was from earlier, and just put the 2 rings on the end here and use the factory nut. Otherwise it was kind of close, but I think everything's nice and tight there and cinched up, and nothing's really bent, and you can't really move this, so that's all you really need. And then I went ahead and hooked this guy back up. Just loosen them all the way out, and then fish them down and hook them through the little holes there, and keep tension on them, and just kind of tighten them up, and just go back and forth so you get it nice. You don't want to crank this down either. You just want to get it so it doesn't move. It's nice and solid. Put your positive back on, and now we're pretty much buttoned up. Now you just got to remember that you're going to have to program your radio code, so go ahead and get that out. Mine's in the glove box. I guess most are. If not, it's in your paperwork. And the second thing is you just reset your ECU. So if you start it up and wow, the idle's a little bit higher or something like that, it's because the ECU is reset. And the last thing to do is to put this guy on. So it just clips here. You got your pin here, and then I don't know if you can see that inside, but yeah, right in here. You just want to make sure that it kind of clips in. It's not super airtight, but that's intake for the stock, or for me it still flows through, and it winds up coming up over there, so I just left it in. This concludes another edition of ManClub. Thanks for watching, and always you can click on this wonderful advertisement below and throw a couple pennies my way to keep me in cool tools and products, and I'll keep doing these videos and showing you guys how to do it. Thumbs up to Kevin, TaoDesigns, for coming up with a innovative grounding system for our cars, and he's coming up with a couple of products so far, and I'm really excited to see what's next. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep 'em hanging.